One of the biggest milestones you can have when it comes to getting over pain or injury is taking the movement that fucked you up and then making that movement therapeutic. Building yourself up so not only that you can do the movement, but that you feel better afterwards when you train that movement. And it's like with myself with sumo deadlifts. I don't know if you guys watched the video I posted a few months ago where I talked about how I was going to be bringing sumos back into my training. And the biggest reason I wanted to bring sumos into my training is because I had previously believed that I couldn't pull sumo, and I had previously believed that sumo was bad for me, and I believed that if I had trained sumo, that it would screw up my hips because all of the evidence showed me that it would do that. And like ultimately, the last injury that really kind of made me build my framework that I had was an adductor tear that resulted when I was pushing sumo hard. My adductors just got super, super, super beat up, and it just popped on a squat. And I attributed that to, at the time, sumo was bad for me. I shouldn't have trained sumo. Sumo beat up my hips. So if I didn't train sumo, it probably would have happened. And it's like, if we avoid a movement, if we label a movement as bad, if we say that we can't do something, no shit, we won't be able to do it. And not doing it isn't going to make the situation any better. If we work our way towards being able to handle that range, if we work our way towards being able to handle loading the tissues required for the movement that we think is dangerous, we're going to be more prepared to handle that movement, and all of a sudden that movement isn't going to become harmful for us, and it isn't going to become dangerous as long as we scale things at a rate that is appropriate to what we can actually handle and what we can progress. And it's like with myself, with my sumos, when I previously trained them, when I previously banged up my hips, I never did anything to actually prepare myself to pull sumo. I just went straight into it and tried to train it heavy and ended up just feeling terrible as a result, just because I didn't do anything to get me ready to pull sumo. I didn't do anything that would indicate that I would be able to pull sumo. I just tried to pull sumo at max effort. No shit, it felt terrible. So what made it work for me? What made it actually be able to build, and what made it now feel therapeutic is that I took the time to build up the missing components. I took the time to build up my adductors. I took the time to build up my hip flexors to actually handle the ranges of motion necessary to be able to pull sumo. I did a ton of Copenhagen planks. I did a ton of anterior bias Copenhagen planks. I did a ton of direct hip flexor work. And lo and behold, once I brought up those missing components, once I brought up the things that I sucked at that were part of the sumo deadlift, sumos stopped hurting. Sumo stopped feeling sketchy just because I had done the work to prepare myself to do them. It's like once I was able to do them, I just had to build them up at a rate that I could handle. And now it's like I'm pulling sumo 2 to 3 times a week, every single week. And every single time I pull sumo, my hips feel way, 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 way better afterwards. And it's like this whole idea, this whole framework doesn't have to apply to just sumo deadlifts. Like all the time you hear lifters saying like, oh, behind the neck presses, behind the neck pull downs are so bad for your shoulders. But it's just like, okay, if you never go here, of course loading back here is going to feel bad. But if we build ourselves up to actually be able to go back there, if we build ourselves up to be able to handle this position and then get strong pressing this position, we're going to be able to handle it and we're going to be able to get better. And it's like, yes, we shouldn't be trying to do a max effort behind the neck press if we haven't done anything for it. Hell, I'm not even going to do a max effort behind the neck press, and I've been behind the neck pressing for months on end now. I'm just slowly building up, slowly, gradually increasing what I can do, and my shoulders feel better, behind the neck presses feel better, and everything is working better as a result just because I'm not ignoring those range of motion and I'm not afraid of actually using my body. So guys, you want to be durable. You don't want to be fragile, so don't treat yourself like you're fragile. Be a real lifter, be a durable lifter, and don't be afraid of training.